You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam. I am your host, and today we have an episode for you, an episode which will blow your mind, an episode which will thrill you, excite you, take you to a land far, far, far from here, in presumably the past, but also the space future, because that is how these things work. And you will be able to immerse yourself in this glorious, magnificent, embroiling adventure after these words from our sponsors.
Just so you know, it's alright to be stressed out sometimes. The galaxy can be a frightening place, and sometimes things can happen which bring you down, stress you out, make you sad and tired. Well, don't worry. We've got you. At Stigwin's Relaxation Emporium, we provide every service you could imagine to help bring you back to yourself, to tease away the worry lines, to soothe your stress and strain at an affordable cost for every customer. Stigwin's Relaxation Emporium. With new sites appearing across the sector, it's time to treat yourself. And remember, everything will get better in time. But until then, there's Stigwin's.
You're listening to Force Majeure. The chronicle is called Shadows of the Jedi. I am your host, Games Master, storyteller. I want to go all Garth Marenghi and say Dreamweaver, but I'm just not pretentious enough.
Oh, no, I think you are.
I'm Ed Fortune. I'm here to run this game with this incredibly talented bunch of lovely people, and I would love for them to introduce themselves to you.
Hi, you've reached Tyka's bar on the Fire Opal. I'm afraid I can't take this call just at this moment right now, because either I'm back at my shop or we're up to some harebrained schemes. Mum and Dad, we're definitely not up to any harebrained schemes. Everything is absolutely fine. There's nothing to worry about. That's not blaster fire you can hear in the background. That's not, press 1 if you want to speak to Gay.
Tychus, unless you haven't noticed, we're upside down right at the moment. And the reason we're upside down right at the moment is because I'm flying the ship very fast through a cavern. Maybe it's not the best time to put people through to me. Okay. You're speaking to Kay, I'm the pilot of the Fire Opal. Could you press another button to get through to somebody else, please? I'm kind of busy. Thank you for your understanding. Oh, if you're calling about the Captain Codfish memorabilia, yes, it is still available. Please leave a message.
Press 2 if you want to speak to Roy.
Hey, this is Roy. It's nice to see you. Nice to speak to you. We're a bit busy right now. Mom, we're definitely not in trouble unless we're in trouble, but it'll be okay. So hi. Doc?
Press 3 to speak to the doc.
Hello, this is Dr. Specs Karamdanalawa. No, I can't get you any further ahead of the surgical roster or any kind of, waiting list. You're going to have to go through the usual channels. Sorry.
Press 4 to speak to Tychus. You don't want to speak to Tychus, I'm very, very busy. Okay, just put the gun down. Everything will be fine. We can negotiate this. Everything will be fine. Leave a message.
On distant Coruscant, there is a Kinbalay embassy. It is full of people who've never been to Kinabal because they can't even pronounce it properly. No one in Kinabal has ever heard of the embassy. It'd be interesting if someone from Kinabal ever got there. Party. You have emerged your ship from an underground tunnel system, and you are alarmingly close to civilization. As the ship pops out and then lands, you actually notice that there are things coming out of the ground, which is slightly alarming. What would you like to do? You are not too far away from both the city itself of Redias or Bracca's Palace. You're closer to Bracca than you are to Redias.
Before we make a decision, you described things as things. What things?
Oh, there's a thick blue sandy covered tentacle coming out of the ground.
Then we won't park the ship, and we'll keep going.
Guys, where are we going?
Just park us somewhere that's reasonably. I can't see what's going on out there, but just get us somewhere safe at the moment. I need to kick the systems here. I could probably do with the dock patching up, and I think we all probably need to have a wee chat about what we're doing next. I know what I'd like to do, but we probably need to have that as a face-to-face chat.
Right.
Then I will fly us maybe a couple of clicks away and very daintily put us down. Wait for a few moments to make sure we're not being attacked by a giant Kinnabell sand octopus, and then we'll go and see everybody.
So, assuming we're travelling at a slightly less breakneck and reckless pace, I'm happy to unclick and go and treat whoever needs medical attention at this point.
We haven't really slowed down, but that doesn't really matter because we're flying a ship, and until I decelerate, it's fine.
So the sky is still very busy. There's still stuff going on. It's just that you're not in it anymore, if you see what I mean. You can see on the sensors roughly behind you that most of the activity is over there, but planetary activity is occurring. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of ships going in and out of this planet right now.
So Tychus has hopefully managed to get the systems of the ship back working again. I can roll if you want me to, Ed, or if you're happy to hand wave away for this moment.
I'm happy to hand wave. It's literally built the ship by hand, and as we're not in combat or in adventure mode, I'm happy for you to, unless you want to try and do something special or add stuff on top of it or reinforce anything. If you just want to get us back to systems normal, that's fine.
Yeah, I will eventually want to do some stuff to give us both back some systems training to repair some hull damage, but I'm going to wait until we are properly parked up for that.
Basic maintenance and repair is not a rule.
Doc, have you had any further luck with the Chadra fan?
Oh, that. I think I heard him falling to the ground earlier or something.
You hear some noise from the cargo area.
The dock makes his way towards the cargo area.
I will follow the dock.
Okay, so the Doc and Roy, as you walk along the bridge area towards the embarkment and disembarkment area, which is your default cargo storage as well, you see a young Chadra-fan. He is heavily scorched. He is heavily bruised. He clearly has a very large head injury. One of his ears is larger than the other, shall we say, because it's been bashed.
That's a very personal comment otherwise.
He has a lagomorph under one hand. So, like, on one hand, under one arm, he's carrying a lagomorph and he's kind of like calming it down. And in the other hand, he's holding a red glowing cube. And there is a sack of stuff that you left when you moved into the area that he's clearly been rooting through. And there's a look of utter confusion on his face as he's just staring at this thing.
Roy, can you get those things off him, please?
Okay.
Be gentle with the lagomorph.
Roy hits him on the head.
Can I have a brawl roll, please? He is not resisting.
Sorry.
I'm assuming you're not trying to kill him. Unless you are, in which case, please tell me.
That's 1 success and 5 advantage.
Right, what were you trying to do?
Yes, well, how would you like to spend the advantage, please?
I would like him to comically drop everything and fall over passed out when I bop him on the head, and then look at the doctor in a very proud kind of kind of way.
Real little bunny foo-foo vibes.
Pretty much.
If you boop him on the other ear, he will pass out with the pain.
Just flick him.
That seems fair enough. Could I have other advantage? Can anything particularly interesting fall out of his pockets in cool ways?
So what actually happens is you catch the rabbit, you catch the cube. Something does fall out of his pocket as well, but as you catch the cube activates, and there's a star chart.
Which cube is this?
It's from a sack of stuff.
Oh, right. Okay, that we brought back from the thing. Okay.
Okay.
Roy looks at it in a kind of embarrassed, like, I'm not sure if I was supposed to turn that off.
I'm not sure if you were either.
The stuff that's fallen out of his pockets appears to be a whole pile of stolen electrical goods, like little components and bits and pieces.
I'm going to summon everybody else to the cargo area so they can look through this stuff, including in case there's stuff that we didn't have before that they would know more about than the doc does. So while I treat the guy's injuries.
Okay.
Doc, can you hold this for a minute?
I hold I'm trying to treat this patient at the minute, Roy. If you can give it to Tychus or Karen, whichever one's first to turn up.
Doc,
Yep.
you recognise the thing that's coming out of the cube almost immediately.
Okay.
It's Syria, the Syrian star system in the mid-rim.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to take it off his hands.
Your responsibility now.
I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with it now, but but now that I recognise the system, I'm still going to wait until the other two turn up. At the moment, is the Chadrafan, likely to die while I'm holding this thing and looking at it?
You're not fascinated by it. You can just put it down.
Oh, okay.
And it's easy for you to put it down. You can tell that he was holding onto it with a tight grip because his hands are bruised and his skin is still livid round where he was holding it. He's held it so hard that it's made an indentation on his hand.
Chadrafan are obsessed with shining mystical nonsense, aren't they?
I couldn't possibly comment.
He needs a rest and water. Actually, make a medicine roll.
Okay.
Difficulty 1.
Where were you last session? I have a triumph and 1 success.
Wow. That's a total waste of a triumph. Sorry.
Sorry, and 1 advantage. My mistake.
You look at his hands and you look at his body and where he is. You also look at the bits of electronic component that's fallen to the floor out of his pockets that Roy has scooped up. And you can pretty much figure out that what he's done is he somehow was able to get out of his confinement. He's then been stun-shotted to the chest twice.
Okay.
He's then been beset upon by small mechanical things.
Okay.
He's then been punched. He's also then been put in a room where he's been battered around.
You're welcome.
Right, okay.
And then he's been punched again on the other ear. So he's not had a good day.
No. I mean, we told him to stay where he was.
Much better than some of his fellows who fell into a chasm, but it's all relative.
The technological bits that he's filled his pockets with, is that stuff that's been taken from our ship? Is that recognisably Tychus's stuff, or is this just other stuff?
It's a wacky mix of Tychus's stuff and stuff that he's got from elsewhere. He's a bit of a pack rat, quite clearly. If you take out all of your bits, there's enough there to give someone on with mechanics a boost die once.
That's not what I'm interested in.
How much of this was...
Yeah, how much of this was my stuff?
Or how much of this was his to begin with?
About half is quite clearly your stuff.
So Tychus by this point has entered the cargo bay, sees what's going on, sees his Chadrafan with his pockets filled with my stuff. The glowing cube thing, was that one of the things that we brought back from the temple?
Yes.
Okay.
He's had a bit of a rob. Is there anything else you want to do with that triumph, by the way, Ross?
I'd like to make sure this machine is still operational. It's not going to fall apart just because the bits fell on the floor.
Yeah, no problem. You can manipulate the cube. Once you put your hand on it, it starts glowing purple, weirdly. You can see the map of Syria, and you scroll in, and there's a diagram of a ziggurat similar to the one that you've just left.
Is it reacting to me specifically? If I took my hand off?
Yes.
That's really strange.
You're reasonably confident that there's something about you that lets you interface it safely. As I say, as soon as you start manipulating it, it turns from red to purple.
Okay, well, I recognise the chat, and I don't want to lose the information, but I just want to, in a sense, I want Tychus to pick it up and see whether it changes what it's displaying while I'm treating this Chadrafan.
I'm going to walk over. Is he awake, Doc?
Tychus, you're being passed a cube?
I'm ignoring that.
Okay.
And I'm picking up the Chadrafan. Is he awake, Doc? Can you wake him up for me, please? And as you might have gathered from my voice, Tychus's voice has gone very cold.
I mean, he's taken a lot of injuries, but...
Yeah, well, can you wake him up for me, please?
That's his angry voice.
Thank you, Roy. That's very helpful. Do you want to make sure that none of these bits are broken or...
Oh, he's not taking any of these bits. I'll worry about that, Shorty.
No. I have no doubt about that. I'm happy for us to take anything else that might be on his person out of his stuff.
Just wake him up for me, please, Doc. That's what I need from you right now, please. Roy, can you get me a canteen of water, please?
Whatever thing would allow to... I'm trying to think I don't know what the medical term is for something that would make someone wake up.
A slap. Try slapping him.
The medical term for a...
No, he's been badly hit around the face. I don't want to add to that. I just want him waking up. And Roy, yeah, if you can get me a canteen full of water, please, Roy, that'd be great of you. Thank you, brother.
The word you're looking for is revive.
Yeah. Okay, I know. I was thinking of something like adrenaline, but whatever the relative version of adrenaline is for him, I would like to use that.
Space magic ejection wake you up thing.
In Star Trek, it'd be a hyper spray. I don't know what it is in Star Wars. Whatever.
Roy comes back with a canteen of water.
So are you injecting him with his stimulating chemical?
Yeah, let's use a stim pack or something.
If you try to use a stim pack, Doc goes, no, we're not wasting it on him. Just wake him up.
I'm happy for the doc to have in his kit little blue capsules that you can pop open. A little vapor comes out and it helps people recover.
Ah, smelling salts.
There we go. That's something like that.
So you break a little capsule under his nose carefully because you know that Chadrafan noses are sensitive. And he's like,
Tychus is holding him up off the ground with his upper arms by like the lapels. And then Tychus puts the water canteen into his pocket, as the Chadrafan's pocket.
Please don't kill me.
You stole my brother. You came into my house and you stole my brother. And then when we came after you, and Tychus is now pointing at him with his other set of lower arms has kind of come up in between his upper arms and is jabbing him. When we tried to get my brother back, who you stole from me, along with all these other droids who, thanks to your actions, has now been killed by these Imperials, okay? You tried to kill us. We saved your life, and we kept you here safe, promising to take you back to civilization. And what you did was you robbed us. So okay, Roy, open the door, please.
Right now?
Right now, open the door.
I think we're still moving.
I don't care, open the door.
Okay.
I think we want to make sure he still hasn't stolen anything else before we throw him off.
That's a great point. And then I start to pat him down with my lower arms to make sure he's got nothing on him except the clothes he's wearing and the water canteen I just shoved into his pocket.
there's a single golden pendant on a chain that's around his neck.
That's around his neck. Is that recognisably one of ours, though? Or is that just...
It's an older Chadrafan lady and an older Chadrafan man.
Then I leave that. That's fine. And I walk over to the opening doors and wait until Case sets us down.
Yeah.
I walk him off the ship. I throw him into the sand. And I go, Red, yes, is that way. I see you again. You're getting a blaster bolt to the back of the head. Now you walk and you be thankful. And then I get back on the ship and I close the door.
As you walk back in, Kay comes into the cargo bay. So what are we doing? What's going on?
The Chadrafan is no longer our concern. He has made his choice. As for what we're doing next...
Well, the doc has got this wonderful glowy thing, and it changed colour when he touched it, and I think he understands it, because he had this look in his eye, and it's kind of cool.
It had more information about ziggurats on it.
Oh, aye.
Kareen joins you.
I go over, give him a hug.
He returns the hug. He looks clearly exhausted, and he says, I need to get off this world as quickly as I can.
Okay, we'll do our best for you. In the meantime, go and have a rest, put your blasters on to charge in the charging bay over there. You go and get a nap, lad. And I bend down, kiss him on the top of the head, and then usher him towards one of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
He takes the hug, he takes the kind words, and then there is a pause whilst you're like, go to bed, and he's like, that's a very good idea. We all need a break, but I cannot stress enough. We need to leave. This is not safe.
We think that we should destroy the statue at the hut.
That's good for me because my ship is outside Bracker's palace. I got a lift in with some of the wolves.
Okay. So it sounds like that might be a plan, love, but we'll wake you up before we get there. For now, go and get at least half an hour's lie down, love. You're not going to be right without that. Your blasters are charging. We'll be all right. You've had a heavier day than we have. Go and have a nap.
He wanders off and goes out of the scene.
So this is a star map to the next one, is it?
It's a star map to another one. I'm less concerned with that, more with the Chadrafan we've just kicked off and the fact that people need medical attention, and we've now got time to do something about it.
He's not dead. Oh, right.
No, he's made his choice. He's no longer part of our concern. Though I wouldn't mind patching up if that's all right, Doc. I did take a blaster bolt, thank you.
Everything you said suggested you'd killed him. He's no longer part of our concern. He's made his choice. They're final words. Are you all right?
You know me, Kay. I don't murder. I just don't look kindly upon discourtesy. And he was remarkably discourteous.
I would agree with that.
You have been a little grouchy lately.
Well, like my wattle's kind of on its next molting. Look, anyway, Doc, I was shot, if you wouldn't mind.
To whatever we've got in service of a med bay, presumably it's going to be a bunk at this point, but...
You have something that resembles medical facilities. It's not brilliant, but you don't take any penalties, basically.
Right. We need to talk about this, and we don't have a great deal of time, so let's go to the med bay, and while you're being sorted, we'll talk about it.
Aye.
And Kay reaches down and pulls out a stim pack and just jabs it in one of his wounds. Let's try and be as quick as we can, shall we?
Aye.
Sure. I mean, I don't understand the urgency from this point on. Obviously, there's stuff happening in the sky. Obviously, there's things happening quite quickly around us. But if we're going to throw ourselves into something, let's get a bit healthier.
Well, the reason where we have an urgency is because we have just escaped this cigarette. We need to destroy that statue, and then we need to get as far away as possible. And if they know who we are, they'll know who Tychus's parents are, and we need to make sure that we don't leave people in a situation where they are...
Compromised.
Yes, that is a good word.
And I'll phone Mum and Dad as soon as we're on our way properly.
We think that we should go to the Hut Palace and destroy that statue.
Okay, let's do that then.
Definitely. And now, while all his troops are down there at the ziggurat, as we've been talking, we've walked into the med bay and Tychus has kind of unclipped his overalls and it's hanging down kind of just off his hips. And you can see where this blaster bolt hit him along the side, and though he injected himself with a stim pack earlier on and that started dealing with some of the cauterized tissue damage, it's still pretty nasty, and with it having gone through his overalls, it's probably caught some of the fibres in there, because his overalls are lined with like a flame retardant chemical, just in case, whatever he's working on in the lab burns, but as a consequence it isn't that nice when it's caught in a wound. So lifts up both sets of arms to stretch the skin out a little bit and give you a good angle on it, Doc. But he's not lying down, he's just kind of standing up and is looking at the three of you while this is all going on.
There are beds here, there are lamps, lights, there are drawers of equipment. There is, as far as you can tell, an attempt at building a back-to-bath rather than a tank. Which would work if you needed it to, but you wouldn't want to use it in the middle of a combat. This is the start of potentially the start of a bigger project. It's quite clearly quite upgradable.
We've been putting jacuzzi jets in it. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, the doc's going to try and treat wounds where he can straight away, just with what he's got to hand. Just to mention at this point, TBC is still sat in a pocket somewhere, hasn't moved since we've gone through that gateway, and the doc hasn't checked on him at all yet. So the doc's just concentrating on the tools he's got straight away to hand. He'll check on the droid afterwards.
Straightforward medical roll, please.
Difficulty?
It's 1 purple, Ross.
5 success.
Wow. Yep, well that puts me up to full. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you very much, Doc. That was much needed.
Who's next?
Is anybody else all right? We're fine.
I think Carween is just exhausted. I didn't see any more bleeding on him.
As far as you can tell, Carween was suffering from dehydration, shock, and exhaustion.
He'd also injured his leg, which we'd tried to repatch up during the battle briefly, but...
Yes. Do you want to leave the room and sort out Carween, or...?
I'm going to go and treat everybody, but I've straight away gone into medical mode of, there is emergency stuff going on, let's do this with urgency.
Flick the comms on when you go in there so you can keep up. Roy, did you take a kick and do you need patching up? And Doc, what about TBC? Are they alright? I've not seen them for a while.
I haven't checked on it. And the doc reaches into his coat and pulls out the droid.
TBC turns on and goes, "What's up, Doc?"
Stealth's been working. Okay. This definitely has all the signs of your handiwork, Tychus.
Well,
I am happy to assume that you spend some time whilst talking to each other, getting your characters all back up to normal health.
Yeah.
I would also like to make the doc a drink and a sandwich because he's done very good work making Tychus look better.
Okay, so what are we doing?
I believe we're heading towards the Hut Palace.
Aye, so we've been there once before. When Carween's awake, let's give him... it's going to take us 10 or 15 minutes to fly there. Let's round it up to half an hour, give him half an hour just to recharge his batteries. He's been in there loads of times and can hopefully give us an idea of the layout, where the statue is and where the best place is to get there. And half an hour, Bracca's lot aren't going to be back by that point. I need to send a message to Mum and Dad as well. I'm not going to comm them, because quite frankly, if I comm them, I'll have to have an actual conversation with them, and it's not a conversation I want to have at this moment in time because it'll delay things more. And look, they're grown-ups, they know what's going on. They'll be able to plausibly deny. They'll be all right. We might need to move, though. I definitely need to get some more armor as well. Build myself some. We might need to go scrap diving, but that is sorry, thinking out loud, that's a future problem. We can fly over there and maybe do a once-over or find a vantage point, wake up Carween, and he can hopefully give us a rough idea of the layout, and then we just go in hard and fast. Go in there, get it. I've got 2 grenades left in the ammo chest. I'll take them.
I'll set the thing to blow. Boom.
Question.
Aye.
Where did all the TIE fighters come from?
TIE fighters?
Yes.
I knew we were getting shot by something, but TIE fighters?
Oh, no, that's what was chasing us. Oh, you couldn't see?
I couldn't see, no. TIE fighters?
Yeah.
Well, we knew there were imps down there, but I didn't think that many.
There were lots of TIE fighters. We evaded, say, half a dozen, including interceptors.
Oh, criff.
They're short-range fighters. We haven't seen any on Kinobel before. Where did they come from?
Did they come from that Star Destroyer we saw?
The what?
The what?
Big triangular shaped thing in the sky?
Yes, that is a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, okay. So the Imperial presence in the area appears to have increased since the party.
Aye. Certainly wasn't a Star Destroyer around when we went in there. You sure it's a Star... Well, I suppose, of course you are. They're pretty unmistakable. That's the whole point of them.
Well, I didn't technically see it destroy any stars, but it was definitely there.
Criff.
We are on silent running. We can't really do any sort of scanning to see if there's...
No. The real question, of course, is that we've no yet taken the fire opal out of Atmo. I'm no sure whether or not her environmental seals will hold, or if they will, how long for. I suppose there's only one way to find out, though.
Well, we can skim the atmosphere and hold our breath, and if it doesn't work, we can always bring it back down.
Aye, well, that's what we might have to do. We certainly can't go into hyperspace without the environmental seals and the oxygen scrubbers properly working. I mean, we can, but it will be brief.
What kind of ship's Carween got? I mean, I'm just thinking, do we need an escort up there in case we need assistance? Can that ship come on board this one, or do they need to fly separate?
I think he'll need to fly separate. I'm not sure. I know it's like a solo craft, but to be honest, he keeps changing his mind. He's very fickle because he just tends to get one that he's not yet settled into his own vessel yet, so he kind of hops around, and I'm pretty sure he steals them.
We cannot go into hyperspace with anything attached to us. We have solar sails that we need to unfurl.
I'm just asking what alternative we've got in case the fire opal isn't enough. That's all the preparation I'm asking for.
No, that's fair. I suppose if worse comes to it, even if Carween can't take any of us, it might be that he can take the statue, if we can't blow it up, and just yeet it into the sun.
Let's assume that we can fly this out of here.
Well, we pretty much have to, because if we can't, then we go back to Red Yes pretty much in fate, or to the other side of the planet and see what there is there and try from there, but...
We're confident that we can get past the Star Destroyer. We're not a bad pilot.
If worse comes to it, we can just fly as fast as we can over surface to the other side of the planet where they're not covering and just dart out, I suppose. As you say, we are much, much faster than them, and they're going to have their minds on other things.
The problem is, they saw us with the lightsaber. That Sith will not stop until it finds us.
Aye, and with him being a general, he's going to have a lot of... Maybe that's why there's a Star Destroyer here. I've never heard of a general travelling without, his full division.
Well, you need to be a general of something, don't you?
Aye, well, quite.
Yes. You can't be a commander by yourself, for example.
No. So, yeah, that probably explains why there's a Star Destroyer here, because that is the general's vessel. Which worries me, actually. I mean, I'm not sure how the Imperial Navy or Army or whatever they are is made up in terms of troop numbers, but for a Star Destroyer and a general to be on site, how many hundreds or thousands of... This is a full-blown occupation.
We didn't see how big the triangle was.
I think we need to get off-world.
Ed, can I ask, because we were talking earlier about how there might be a slight risk to Bar's parents. How would I calculate the odds of them being in danger?
That's an extremely good question. You don't have enough data as to what exactly is going on, but the first step would be to tell them what's happening. You're aware, but Tychus is not, that the family have evacuation plans and emergency plans. There is an emergency workshop that you have been in, because you have been worked on there, that you are pretty sure Tychus doesn't know about. I would need you to make an obligation roll to tell Tychus about this, because it is against the family's interest for Tychus to know. You know that for certain.
I'm just trying to figure out, knowing that we've probably upset some Imperials, including a general. There's a Star Destroyer on site. We're possibly about to upset the Hutt. We've also been witnessed by other swoop gangs.
Tychus's parents 100% need to be informed as quickly as you're able to do so, using any systems that you can, that there is immediate danger. However, you are aware that they are protocols and they would give you instructions. You would assume that your default instruction would be, we'll be fine, look after Tychus, but you would need to confirm that.
Okay. I think I would like to, because I know Tychus, you were saying you might give them not a call but a message or something. I think when you go to give them a message, Roy is going to upload the information to them as well with a "Hi Mom, hi Dad. We're not dead, but we might be soon, and so might you. How are you?"
You can immediately prep like a pod, like a capsule of information to send immediately, which will have everything prioritized that is relevant to this, and also all the other stuff that you're supposed to tell his parents.
Cool. I will do that.
I assume Roy is currently complying with your silent running order.
Yeah, it's to go when the message is sent. So
Yeah, I haven't given him any orders. I just turned off all of the stuff.
That's the ship silent running, not me.
Yeah.
You can't shut me up like that. It doesn't work that way.
No, we don't even try.
Well, we should probably try a little bit, because otherwise, we're going to give ourselves away. That's why I'm making the point.
Tychus hasn't thought that far ahead.
Okay, so that transmission is just about to send right now, right?
Well, I don't think Roy's telling anyone that he's going to be doing it. That's the whole point of it being a secret transmission.
Yeah. As a rule, Roy does not dob, which is a brilliant, I think, English word. He doesn't dob Tychus into his parents unless there is a significant risk to Tychus's life or the family itself. And that's why I wanted to try and do a risk assessment of this as to whether or not this is being naughty or being in trouble, which are two different things.
he's not in trouble. This is evacuation procedure.
Yeah, as in we, the family, are in trouble.
The family are in trouble. This is send the information so they can begin evacuation, and then you expect either instructions to be sent or instructions to be unlocked, depending on what happens. Because your programming is a nightmare of two very, very talented, very, very paranoid people filling you full of information, and also a legacy of lost code.
And I imagine you can probably prep that and send that silently without any of us knowing, because I imagine, knowing my parents, that you have a very, very super secret comms unit
Yes, exactly.
built in that is hyper encrypted and planetary wide that can only be used specifically for these circumstances.
I describe it as a pod, as in podcasting. There'll be an end-to-end transmission, because a thing that you can do in the Star Wars universe is send local traffic. Galactic traffic is a bit more tricky, but local traffic easily. So, do the party have a plan?
Yes, the plan is, while Roy's doing that and Tychus is prepping a lengthy email to his parents, that it will be sent later on. Because, as I said, he's not phoning them. That is not a conversation. I imagine the conversation will go in his favour, but Tychus doesn't think that. So he's waiting. The plan is to fly near Bracca's Palace, wake up Carween when we get there, get a floor plan for the place, and then rock on, windmill in.
You get to the area of Bracca's Palace that most people are allowed to land near, which seems sensible. Carween wakes up. When you tell him that you've gone to Bracca's Palace, he goes, "Okay, what is your plan for Bracca's Palace?"
You know the big crystal hut statue? We're going to get it and destroy it.
Carween goes, "Okay, well that's a plan, certainly." So, what the palace looks like is it's a series of domes built into underground, if you see what I mean. It's pretty much like its own little fortress. I think the best way to describe it is, rather than a palace, it's more like a compound. There's long crenellations and there's tower areas. It is quite well defended. If you have seen The Mandalorian, the first episode, that compound is a better description of Bracca's Palace, but with an inside bit that's really sumptuous.
There's a massive kill zone out front as well,
Yes.
isn't there? In like a courtyard.
There's an outer area, which is where traffic lands and comes to. There's a road that goes to the area. There's a big kind of domey entrance area. Once you go into the domey entrance area, that is essentially the kill zone, the siege area. That's the only way in that you can get to. Surrounding that dome area is a partitioned wall, and if you were to try and get in the back way, if you were trying to get in not by the front, you would have to scale a sheer wall. You would be clearly seen by the guards spotting it, and then you would be shot trying to get into the compound.
Everybody strap in.
I was going to say, it might be all well and good, but we could just blow a hole through the wall with the ship.
Everybody strap in.
Right-o.
Our turrets are on the top.
Oh, goody.
We'll get you to your ship in a minute, love. And then Tychus runs to engineering. Clunk click, lad. Clunk click.
Ed, rather than parking far away, I'm going to fly the ship up to where the palace is, bank it over onto its roof, and let Roy turn the kill zone into a kill zone.
Okay, before you do that, can I have a perception roll, please?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Who from, Ed?
From everyone but Tychus.
Difficulty?
1.
Okay, so that is 2 successes and 2 advantage.
So, they are some TIE fighters, some Imperial vehicles, several Virago fighters, and several Z-95s in the Black Sun livery, currently parked up and nearby.
This is why I didn't want to spend so long.
I got a failure and 2 advantage.
Okay, you see Corwin's ship, you know where it is. You recognise Corwin's, like the symbol that he has on his armour, you recognise it on the top of a Skirk bomber as you fly past it.
I'm going to pass that information to Roy so he doesn't shoot at it.
Okay.
Maybe that could be the advantage.
Yeah.
Exclude that from the kill zone.
When we were at the party and we brought the crystal statue back last time, did he display it at any point?
Yes, it was displayed in his palace area, which is roughly the middle of the complex.
Okay, so deep down or on the top or where?
So as you go in at the top of the dome area, you go out past the area where you can easily be murdered, and then you go into further down into the party area. So it's slightly semi-bunkered,
Oh, it's a shame.
but you don't know where it is now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Roy, when we flip the ship, we want you to blow us an opening.
Okay, here we go.
What difficulty?
That's got to be a 2.
Just a 2. Brilliant.
Did I get a piloting roll for...
Oh, sorry. No, I got 3 successes on my perception.
You didn't get a piloting roll, but I had 2 advantages on my perception, so I want to give some boost to Roy. Do you want a piloting roll as well?
Yes, please.
Difficulty?
2.
2 successes and 3 advantage.
Roy, do you want to roll an extra 3 boost dice for your gunnery attack roll?
Wow. Okay, that's 4 successes and 1 advantage.
So, as you are doing your sweeping attack and you're about to blow a hole in the palace, you see, carrying on a hover cart, the statue, 2 very heavily robed looking humans flanked by stormtroopers. There is also a green-skinned alien who is clearly giving directions. You can choose to blow up the wall or you can choose to blow up them. It's up to you.
Them. Frag 'em. Frag 'em.
Okay, we're aiming for them.
Well, we can see the statue, so...
Yeah, the statue's what we're actually after. We don't particularly want to snub it. The target isn't Bracker, the target is the statue.
Right, so I take it you're shooting the statue?
We are shooting at the statue.
Okay, how much damage do the guns do?
That's 9 damage.
Ed, bear in mind that because these are planetary weapons, that is 90 wounds.
Okay, so what happens is this. Your bolts of energy hit dead on the statue. There is a glorious blue burst of power that thrums out. Everyone except Roy gets a moment of feeling that you're out of yourselves, like something is pushing you out of your body. It's like that feeling you had before where something was tearing at your soul when you're in the ziggurat, but you're braced, you know this feeling before, and even though it's a shock to the system, and you all take a strain, you're not as horrified by it as you were. Okay, for the very briefest moment while that happens, you see something else happening. You don't have enough time to see what's happening, but you see through someone else's eyes.
Okay.
For the briefest moment, it's someone standing on what might be a Star Destroyer on the bridge of a ship, but it's definitely not what you're seeing, and then you're fine again.
Given everybody else is in busy roles at the minute, I suspect what we're doing is getting Carween to the airlock or escape door, cargo bay doors with a jetpack so we can quickly get to his ship, because that's the only other thing we've got going on.
So there is a blast. It's quite devastating as well, by the way, this explosion. As you swoop away, you can see behind you that it seems to have affected everyone in that area. Everyone is down, and there is no statue anymore. The vehicle itself that they were taking it to is currently on fire, as is the front of Bracker's palace.
Is Carween more down than we are?
No, Carween's fine.
Okay.
You're not down, you took a moment of... It took the wind out your sails.
Okay.
Is it destroyed? We don't have a good angle from up here.
All gone boom.
Right, let's get Carl into his ship and let's get out of here.
You land. They are very, very angry people on foot heading towards your general direction. Corrine gives you a kiss.
Yeah, I was going to say, I grab him up in my upper arms, pull him right up, give him a kiss, put him back down and go, I'll be in touch, love. Be safe. Get away from here.
Yes, I'm gone. And literally within the space of about a minute, he's gone down the ramp, has gone straight into it. It's a Skag bomber. It's nice. And is already prepping.
Tychus runs back to the engine room, clips himself in and pulls up the systems diagnostics and go, okay, environmental seals seem to be currently holding, oxygen scrubbers are prepped, emergency systems are and backup power is ready to go.
Tychus,
Aye?
we're going to break the ship again. Sorry. Let's go out into space.
There's the pitter-patter of small arms fire.
I hit send on the message to my mum and dad.
The dock clunk clicks in the co-pilot seat.
Roy
Okay.
sends off his pod.
And we head for the atmosphere.
About a minute passes where nothing happens. After about a minute, Roy,
Yep.
you get a message from Tychus's parents. And also Tychus, you get an email. The email simply says, "Stay safe, love. We will see you later. Trust Roy." Roy, your message is as follows. Look after Tychus. Look after yourself. Here is our heart. Should you not be able to get our boy home, give him your heart. And it's just a small file of information that you cannot crack.
Ooh.
Presumably some way of contacting his parents.
Cool. Well, that went well.
As the fire opal breaks atmosphere, there is a pause. And then suddenly the scanners erupt with information. It seems that the fog of weirdness that surrounds the planet has been hiding a deadly secret. There's an Imperial fleet just on the edge of atmosphere coming to Keenabal. You have chosen the best and perhaps the worst time to leave. They are ships as far as the eye can see. And on that bombshell, we're going to end the season. So, thank you all to players, thank you all to listeners, thank you especially to our patrons, but yes, thank you for listening.
As my esteemed colleague has said, thank you everybody for listening and joining us here. Coming up next will be the customary table chat Q&A episode. Then there'll be some intermission short arcs, as is tradition, with some extremely special guests. And following that, we will be going back to the Coldfire Chronicles for Chapter 3. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope to see you there. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and may the Force be with you. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.